Today on Dave Eats the World, we're going to be making Hawaiian Detroit-style pizza. Now I know some of you might say, ew, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Well, I beg to differ. This video is for people who, like me, appreciate anything that tastes good, regardless of authenticity. With that being said, let's begin. To start, we'll be making the dough. To a bowl, add 480 grams of water, 3 teaspoons of instant yeast, and 3 teaspoons of white sugar. I'm combining these first so that I know that my yeast is still alive. Wait for 10 minutes, and if our yeast is bubbly like this, then you're good to go. In a mixing bowl, put in 636 grams of bread flour. Pour in the yeast mixture, and we're ready to mix. In a stand mixer, put in your dough hook and set it to medium speed until everything is well incorporated. You can knead the dough by hand, but it will take a longer time. Once everything is just coming together, cover it with cling film and let it rest for 20 minutes. This allows the dough to rest and develop the gluten bonds. After 20 minutes, add in 1.5 teaspoons of salt and a tablespoon of olive oil. Continue mixing the dough on medium speed for around 8 minutes. Since this is a high hydration dough, it's fine if the dough doesn't cling to the hook. After we're done mixing, scrape off any excess dough from the hook with a bench scraper. Scrape off the sides of the mixing bowl as well so no dough goes to waste. In a 9 by 13 inch baking pan, spread some olive oil all over the bottom and sides of the pan. This will prevent your dough from sticking. Take out half a portion of the dough and put it on your baking pan. We'll put some oil on our hands so that the dough doesn't stick as much and shape the dough into a ball. Cover it with cling film and let it rest for an hour. After an hour, oil your fingertips and gently stretch the dough to the corners of the pan. It won't stretch all the way on the first try, and it's okay. Cover it in cling film and let it proof for 2 to 3 hours, stretching the dough every 30 minutes or so. While we wait for our dough to proof, let's make the sauce. Pour a can of crushed tomatoes into a bowl and add in a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of dried basil, a teaspoon of oregano, some salt to taste, and a tablespoon of olive oil. Give it a mix, and our sauce is ready. After a few hours of proofing, it's time to assemble the pizza. Spread around 125 grams of Monterey Jack Cheese to the sides and corners of the dough. Add in 150 grams of mozzarella to the center of our pizza, making sure that most of the surface is covered. Next, we'll put in the tomato sauce on top of the pizza. As usual, we'll be using the traditional Detroit-style pizza racing stripe pattern. I'll be using pineapple chunks for this recipe since it's the only way you can make sure that your pineapples are nice and sweet. Now for a meat. Instead of ham, I'm using mortadella. You can put it in before or after baking. It's your choice. Make sure that each slice gets an equal serving of meat. Preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and let it cook for 15 minutes. Our pizza is almost ready. But before we dive right in, we have to let it rest for 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'll just end up burning the roof of my mouth. Transfer it onto a wire rack so the bottom of the pizza doesn't get soggy. It's time to slice our pizza. Upon inspecting the cross-section of the pizza, it turned out flatter than I would have liked it to. The toppings might have been a tad bit too heavy. Now, let's give it a taste. The pizza is nice and salty because of the cheese, a bit tangy due to the Monterey Jack. The mortadella is crispy and porky. The acidity of the sauce balances out the richness of the pizza, and those golden nuggets of pineapple bring a nice pop of brightness to every bite. If I were to change one thing, I would probably pre-bake the dough so that it can have the chance to rise properly before adding in the rest of the toppings. That being said, everything else turned out great, and I highly urge you to try this out for yourself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Tell me what videos you'd like to see and I'll try to make it happen. I'll see you on the next one.